You know, in every single business, there's this invisible force at play. It's not something you'll find on a stock report or a balance sheet, but it has the power to make or break the entire company. Today, we're going to make that force visible. We're talking about culture. So let me just ask you this straight up. What do you think is a company's most powerful asset? Your mind might go to something you can count, right? Like cash in the bank. Or maybe something you can see, like their flashy headquarters.
Well, the reality is, it's none of those things. A company's most powerful asset doesn't show up on the balance sheet at all. You can't see it, you can't touch it, but it has the power to change literally everything, from success to total failure.
This quote right here, it just nails it. Culture is the true character of an organization. It's what happens when the boss isn't looking. It's the sum of all those tiny decisions that reveal what a company's moral compass really points to.
Okay, so if culture is this big, invisible force, how does it actually work? Let's deconstruct it. We're going to pop the hood and really look at the building blocks of an ethical culture.
It really boils down to three things that are totally interconnected. First, it all starts with leadership. Their actions, not their words, set the real tone. Then, that tone gets amplified through communication. Are people actually encouraged to speak up and be honest? And finally, it all gets locked in by the reward structure. Because let's be real, what a company rewards is what a company truly values. And don't ever underestimate the power of leadership. Get this. A staggering 70% of employees look directly to their leader's behavior to figure out what's acceptable. So if a leader cuts a corner, they've basically just sent a memo to the entire company saying, hey, this is how we do things here. And this brings us to the ultimate litmus test. Think about it. If a company's mission statement is all about teamwork, but they only hand out bonuses to individual top performers, which message do you think employees are going to listen to? Yeah, the reward system always reveals the actual values. You know, this gap, this space between what a company says and what it actually rewards, that brings us to a super important distinction: the difference between culture and climate. Let's break it down like this. Culture is the company's deep down DNA. It's the core identity, the stuff that's truly embedded. Climate, on the other hand, is more like the daily weather. It's the perception of what you need to do day in and day out just to get ahead, or even just to survive. A healthy company works hard to make sure these two align. A toxic one, it lets a huge chasm grow between them. If you want a fantastic example of a positive culture, look no further than Ben & Jerry's. Their social mission isn't just some marketing slogan they trot out once in a while. No, it's baked into everything they do, from how they source their ingredients to their community work. Their culture and their climate are one and the same. And then you have the other end of the spectrum, the poster child for a toxic climate, Enron. They had the word integrity written right there in their stated values. But the actual climate? It was a pressure cooker that rewarded lying and cheating to pump up the stock price. And in the end, that toxic climate didn't just contradict their culture, it completely obliterated the company.
Okay, so why are we drilling down on this so much right now? Well, because in today's world, choosing a company with the right culture isn't just a nice to have. It's one of the most critical decisions you will make for your career. The stakes have never been higher.
And the data backs this up. We're living in what you could call the expectation economy. A full 76% of millennials and Gen Z, yeah, that's you guys, are looking at a company's social and environmental commitments before they even decide to apply. It's not just about the paycheck anymore. It's about finding a place where your values actually align. And this isn't some soft, feel-good metric. This is a massive competitive advantage. Companies with strong, authentic cultures see up to 40% lower employee turnover. In what everyone is calling the war for talent, being the place where the best people want to stay, that's a huge, huge win. Some companies are so confident they've nailed their culture, they do something that sounds, well, completely crazy. The online retailer Zappos, after putting new hires through intensive training, makes them a very surprising offer. They'll literally pay you $2,000 to quit. I mean, what kind of company does that? A company that is supremely confident in its culture. That's who. A jaw-dropping 97% of new hires turn that money down flat. You see, that offer isn't a gimmick. It's a powerful filter. It makes sure that only the people who are truly all in on the Zappos way of life stick around. It is a masterclass in protecting your culture. So, we all agree culture is incredibly important. But how do you actually build a great one? Let me tell you, it does not happen by accident. It takes deliberate, intentional work. So, here's a toolkit for how you can harness that invisible force for good. Building culture is an active, ongoing process. First, leaders have to model the behavior they want to see. Then, the company has to amplify it through storytelling, sharing and celebrating the examples of people doing the right thing. And that has to be backed up by real accountability systems where ethical behavior gets rewarded and violations get addressed. Finally, you have to anchor it all to the company's core mission so it becomes part of the daily grind. For a perfect example of that last step, mission integration, you just have to look at Patagonia. Their mission, "We're in business to save our home planet," isn't just a poster on the wall. It drives everything: product design, political activism, how they run their ads. The mission is the culture. All right, let's make this super practical for you. As you start looking for internships and jobs, you need to become a skilled culture auditor. You need to be someone who can read the signs, who can spot a healthy workplace from a toxic one before you even sign an offer letter. So here are the major red flags you need to watch for. And don't be afraid to ask about these things in your interviews. Does what leadership says match what they reward? Is there crazy high turnover? Do they punish people for speaking up? These are the warning signs of a culture that's in real trouble. As we wrap up, I want you to know that all of this ties directly into your upcoming Module 4 assignment. These are the critical questions to keep in your mind. I want you to really think about how a company's structure can push people towards certain behaviors. Dig into the massive role leaders play. And most importantly, think about how you can find or maybe even help build a company where sustainability isn't fighting against profit, but is part of the same strong culture. So, I'm going to leave you with this. Culture isn't some abstract thing that leaders create and just pass down from on high. It's built by everyone, every single day, in every choice that's made when no one is watching. So the real question is, as you step out into the world and begin to build your career, what kind of culture will you help build?